Hi, welcome to another episode of Oraan podcast. And we are continuing our conversation with Ariba Shahid, who's a journalist at Deal Street Asia. And the topic today is something that is very, very close to our heart, which is around the impact of women on the economy. So, welcome back, Ariba.
It's like I never left.
What kind of policies and what kind of um, um, r- regulations can we put in place to be able to encourage some form and shape of payment to unpaid work?
I mean, there are various ways that one could do this, uh, but there's nothing that you can actually guarantee.
Yeah.
Maybe the government providing, what do you call it,
Unemployment
unemployment benefit to some
yeah.
people, that could work. But then again, in Pakistan, when that happens, it's usually the men that take over the money, because from what I know is you've got to go collect it, and then that's a whole hassle. So there's that problem. But yeah, it's you're not going to see that happen. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. It's unfortunate,
Yeah.
unless they get unemployment benefit.
But this is a conversation that is being talked
Yeah.
about in on multiple policymaker levels in different countries.
I mean, if they're working at home and they are working at home, they deserve some money for financial liberty to take.
Absolutely.
I mean, it shouldn't be like, oh, this is your pocket money.
Yeah.
Pocket money just implies like something that you give to a kid.
Yeah.
Here, you've got expenses, use them. Pocket money makes it seem like it's a favor.
Yeah.
It's not a favor.
It's not a favor.
It's something that you deserve. And to be very honest, I feel that it's completely okay to demand money for work that you're doing.
Absolutely. And I think that also goes back into
Women not asking for what they deserve.
absolutely. And also like the financial independence of women,
Yeah.
right? Like अगर आप पॉकेट मनी या बज घर का जो किचन मनी होता है जो भी होता है आप जब उसको उस perspective से provide कर रहे हो you're also taking away that agency that she could potentially have over that money and have that upward mobility in her financial lives.
So, for instance, pocket money implies that if you want to do something, you save up thoda over
Yeah.
time. And kitchen money is basically not even your money. It's just money that you're using for a purpose, and the purpose has been defined. And you can't really move here and there from the purpose. But the money that you get from what you've earned is something that no one can really question you on, because it's absolutely your money.
But that's also a bit of a change in mindset, right? Like even right now जो औरतें काम करती हैं the structure of the household is such कि आपके मेल काउंटरपार्ट को पता होना चाहिए कि आप कितना पैसा कमा रही हो. या हमने बेस लेवल पे काम नहीं करा. Basic things like bank account opening, for example, right?
It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare for women to open up that bank account, and you can't solve for financial independence अगर आपका system आपको हर जगह से fail कर रहा है.
I mean, if you need to bring in a man at every step, you don't have a system for women at all. Opening up a bank account should be as easy as riding a bike. Of course, documentation, etc., is always
Important.
and I'm not saying that we should let go of all the KYCs, etc. But it's absolutely important that the steps should be as easy for someone who walks in who knows nothing can get through. And if that person knows nothing, there should always be some support given. Staff should be trained to deal with such people. They shouldn't be. I mean, at this level, if the minute you start asking tough questions, the staff goes like, you know what, just bring in your husband, bring in your dad, bring in someone else, right? Bring in your brother. These are common responses. It shouldn't be like that. If I have to bring a man in at every step of the way,
I'm already like
I mean, then
deterred.
then why do I even need my own account? I could just use their account if I have So the banking sector is archaic. They built for men because they are men. A few weeks ago, they posted a picture of all the bank CEOs at the State Bank. They were all men.
Unfortunately.
They were all old. I would like to say older than 40. And I don't want to be ageist, but
or sexist for that matter.
or sexist for that matter, yes. Um, but the very fact that they were all men is also a global phenomenon, but at the same time, it also proves that they don't really think from a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
And okay, fine, let's CEOs are probably mostly men
Globally,
as well. But let's talk about the top management. Mostly men. You hardly find women. The departments that you do find women making to the top are again HR, etc. But the operational side, the side that actually matters,
the decision making side, when you talk
yeah.
about product making,
So
औरतों के लिए किस
there
तरह
is
से-
very little voice.
Yeah.
And we were speaking earlier as well. Like if you build for women, you're building for men and women. But if you build for men, you're literally building for men.
You're isolating women because आप उनकी needs आप नहीं आप understand. It's not कि औरतों की financial needs any different है.
Yeah.
They want payments, they want debit, they want credit.
I want a
That's-
nice debit card and a credit card that has really nice discounts, the same as any man would. I want a seamless process where I don't need to call the bank up multiple times because calling a bank is annoying. I don't want to walk into a branch unnecessarily. I want immediate solutions when I have problems. I mean, ask a man the same question, and they're going to give you the same answer.
Absolutely.
A bank should be easy, accessible, and the minute you walk into a bank, you shouldn't feel overwhelmed.
Absolutely. I think we've done a poor job in solving
I mean,
for that.
you're privileged. I'm privileged. We walk into a bank. Do you not feel inadequate?
Absolutely. I've been rejected. Bank accounts. And that was the reason for starting Oraan as well, right? Like, how do you make finance more accessible for women and then their households? Because what we start forgetting about is कि जब औरत जो घर पे काम भी कर रही है, आप जब उसका घर का जो खर्चा चला रही है वो औरत चला रही है.
Yeah.
और अगर आप उसको बैंक अकाउंट नहीं दे रहे हो और आप उसको लिए आसान नहीं कर रहे हो पेमेंट्स करना या जो भी करना ट्रांजैक्शन करना, आप दैट्स एक्चुअली अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट ऑफ लॉस्ट ऑफ व्हाट कुड potentially happen to the economy if that money was sitting in the bank accounts.
Yeah.
Because she is primarily doing those transactions on cash because the systems are not designed around her.
Yeah. And if you look at the M2 growth, if you look at the growth in cash transactions, it's not coming down.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it's coming down. And then you go like, oh, we want to document the economy. You can't document the economy if you do not have financial inclusion. And you do not have financial inclusion until you have the right voices representing and voicing opinions of people that make up 50% of the population. I mean, it took me ages to open up one bank account, my first account. I was a student back then. I had to show my dad's source of income. Fine, back then we didn't have allowances for women to open up their own account, but it was annoying. And right now, I've tried opening up accounts for my maids. We've opted for mobile accounts at this point in time. What do you call those? Telecom accounts. Telco accounts right now. But we tried a bank account first, and the banks did not know what product to advise my maids. They didn't know what to do. And the reason why I wanted my maid to have an account was because, one, this was back when COVID was happening, and we didn't know whether like it would be safe for her to travel to our place, so it would be easy to transfer her money without her husband getting involved. And the second reason is that it's a multiplier effect. If she has an account, she's gonna go around in her area and she's gonna tell her people, her friends, you know what, let's get a bank account. You should also get a bank account. It's really easy. It's very easy. I can do it. You can do it.
And that pride that they get of doing things that are predominantly done by their male counterparts. Right?
And they feel liberated. It's a beautiful feeling. But it's also, again, like, I feel that anyone that has the power to should spend some time or some energy towards, furthering knowledge, right? So for instance, with financial inclusion, you knew of a problem and you set up Oraan. Right now everyone can set up.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
But let's say you could start small. You could look around in your family and go like, oh, you don't have a bank account? Hi, let me solve that
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Things like that. So this is not a women only thing. It's a responsibility on men as well.
Absolutely.
So I feel that we need to take up the responsibility to give women agency around us, find women who need this.
Yeah.
And give them whatever support we can. Like just walking into a bank with someone and going, listen, if the questions get tough, I'm here.
Yeah.
Just that's enough for someone.
Yeah. Or even raising questions and being able to being slightly vulnerable and asking for help. Because
Yeah.
one of the things around money is that it is isolating, and it's very there's a little bit of shame.
Yeah.
Whatever we say, however we say it, there is a little bit of shame कि मुझे नहीं पता है या मैं किस तरीके से इस situation को maneuver करूँ. Right? So I think it's okay to have these, to raise your hand and say कि मुझे नहीं पता.
So I'm a financial journalist,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna admit that I'm scared of taxes.
Yeah. I think all of us are.
I mean, I hear the word tax and I go like, oh, I forgot everything I know. मुझे कुछ नहीं आता. I'm dumb. I get someone to file my taxes, even though I've heard it's very easy.
Yeah.
I've looked at the portal. It's a little intimidating, but it's not rocket science. But like, you know, when I came out and I said I don't understand taxes, a friend of mine was like, अरे तुम तो लिखती हो finance के बारे में, तुम्हें कैसे नहीं पता? And I was like, yeah, it just overwhelms. I just find it weird.
Yeah.
But you know, just coming out there and accepting it. It took me a lot of time for me to just come out and say, you know what, मुझसे नहीं होता ये.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely. We need to also, like, there's no shame.
Yeah.
There's no shame in not knowing something. As a journalist, I realized that it's my job to ask questions. I don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
So I learned this because of my job, but I feel everyone needs to learn that it is okay to learn. It's okay to not know. No one's a PhD in living.
Yeah. No.
Right? And the second thing is that when someone does admit that they don't know something, let's just accept it for what it is and not make fun of it.
Yeah. And also, like, then try to, if there is something that you can offer, make that extra effort.
Yeah.
Because what you are foregoing is, agar aap nahi help kare, you are actually directly or indirectly impacting the economy.
Yeah.
Right? And it is a collective effort right now.
There's an opportunity cost for everything. Someone getting a degree and not working is an opportunity cost. Someone being denied of access to finance or someone being denied access to formal banking is an opportunity cost. It's lost opportunity for the economy itself, and it's lost opportunity for the household on a micro level. We're talking a lot about the macro level, about the GDP, etc., but it's a micro level loss as well. I mean, there's so many women, there's so many success stories of women that when they finally got access to capital, they were able to turn the world around. They were able to turn their families around. But we don't see that happening until it becomes
a celebration of sort,
Yes.
right? And that's what we are celebrating on a daily basis. Every woman who is able to have an authority and agency over her finances,
Yes.
whether it is to just do small or large, like, great things when you're financially, whatever she wants. Celebrate her, give her that space, and build a community around her so that she can come out, tell her story, and inspire other women who are feeling that they're lonely in this journey.
So a community of cheerleaders and coaches.
Yeah.
So we need both.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could be a cheerleader for someone, and then the minute that person turns into something, they could be a coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a community effort. I feel that the onus is on us because society has failed us. So it puts a lot of pressure on us, something that shouldn't be the case, but it is. It is what it is. And I feel that lots of people are doing great jobs about it.
100%.
There are people that are working towards this. There are some regulators out there, there are some bankers out there who are willing to listen to you, and they're willing to fine. We're gonna cut the crap with the pinkness,
Yeah.
and we're gonna make an actual product. The people that actually want to do this, and some people are just gonna do it for optics. And we've got to understand some are here for the glam and some are here for actual work.
Yeah. But I think what is important is recognizing that the collective missed opportunity of not getting women in the formal space to contribute equally has a massive impact on the economy, and we
Massive.
cannot
We cannot put a price on it.
we cannot put a price on it, and we
Yeah.
can't even grow at the pace that we need to play catch up with the world right now.
Yeah, no, it's we've got a lot to catch up on, because it's not just the workforce. We need to focus on women education first, women healthcare, provision of basic necessities for women, and then we could focus on that. So I think there are multiple steps that Pakistan needs to catch up on, and first. But it's a tough conversation. It's hard to admit that, you know what, we're really privileged.
Yeah.
We're really privileged in the sense that we were given access to education, we're given access to work, we're given access to choose what we do. But yeah.
Yeah. But I think these conversations are important to have, and I think that privilege also puts a lot more responsibility on us to be able to do better
Yes.
at the jobs that we have chosen for ourselves,
And be more inclusive.
and be more inclusive. 100%.
Because again,
It takes a village.
it takes a village, and you've got to be a good village.
Yeah, 100%. And I think upper niche is it will take, it's a chicken and egg problem,
Yeah.
right? So mindset change होने में time लगेगा, structural problems change होने में time लगेगा, but जब तक हम बात नहीं करेंगे और enough बात नहीं करेंगे, आगे नहीं बढ़ सकेंगे.
Until it becomes something that is given. Like at this point, it's now turned into a thing that whenever someone does a panel discussion, they specifically look out for women in that sector, because it's become a thing.
Yeah.
There were so many conversations around manals that we don't see manals anymore as often as you would in the past. So things like that need to be constant conversation. Do not sit down until you actually see change.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining in this conversation today, Ariba. It was
For having me.
It was a pleasure, and I really, really enjoyed it. There were some really, really hard truths that came out of it. And thank you so much for joining in. If you have any comments, and if you would like to learn a little bit more about the impact of women on the economy, please leave comments and we'll get back to you. Thank you. Thank you.